Hello everyone and welcome back to the Drivers Room Acelith Design Endurance Championship. I know it is a mouthful, but today we are at the Suzuka circuit in the GR2 Super GT Monsters. This is Season 5, Round 7. Oh, we're getting closer to the finale. And Tier 1. So, let's get down to a grid walk and see what transpired in today's qualifier. Yet again, I just want to disclaim that the Champion Plux is not present at this time because of his wheel is being repaired. And hopefully we can see him back at the finale. Alright, starting off, we have Juggernaut in first. We have Martin B, Flapjack, Drift Spice, Ricey, Purple Spice, Muller, Sean, Senna, Gadget, and finishing off the field in the back, we have Are You Ready, Ben? Okay, let's get down to the race, shall we? Alright, waiting for the green lights to appear. We are off on round 7 of the ADEC Championship. It is a good, fast start from Juggernaut in the 08 Skyline, as we see Martin in second, being followed by Alex and Flapjack. We have Berkey, Sean, Ricey, Gadget, Senna, and Ben in the back. Muller has had a horrible start, as we see Juggernaut just running away now in the 08 GTR. It has no turbocharger, so the takeoff from the line is just that insane. So yeah, I think he's developed a second down to Martin already, which is pretty insane from launch. As we see Martin in the 16 NSX. We have Alex in the 16 NSX as well with Flapjack. Very popular car this season, the NSX. Car that was rarely used in seasons before, but probably it's become a little bit easier to drive, as we see Alex looking for a move into the fast left-hander that I always forget what is called. I think it's 180R. And Juggernaut is just running away with this. Coming home to start lap number 2, as we see Alex has passed Martin. And what in the world happened to Martin? Taking a look back, let's see what transpired. And Martin just goes way off. Holy bleep. Wow. And I don't know if there was any contact. Take a look with Alex. There was a bit of contact, but Alex really couldn't help that. That was not Alex's fault. Let's see if Martin's car is damaged at all. He just parked it on the gravel. Maybe he is just cursing in that car. And we see Muller with damage. No. Juggernaut now in P1 still. Look at the gap that has developed between Juggernaut and Alex at this point. This track must really suit that GTR quite well. I mean, all the cars right here has got home field advantage. These are Japanese Super GT cars on a Japanese track. So, looks like there's pretty good train of cars running in the back, as we see Gadget all the way down into 9th. Gadget must have had a spin somewhere as well. As we see Ben there right in front, and Martin has decided to throw in the towel. He could have still continued. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't Alex's fault either, as we see Juggernaut coming over to set the best lap time, 1:49.2. Or we have Alex with a 1:49.1. Oh, and just look at how loose the rear end of that NSX is. You have to treat this car with care, handle the car with care, and yeah, I can't even speak right now. The NSX does have a few quirks when you hit the brakes, and yeah, that's one of the things I just can't get used to driving the NSX, hence the reason why I've not considered picking it just yet. It does have a beautiful sounding engine, and it does look quite sexy, but yeah, I can't really handle that car, so I've stuck with the Lexus for the entirety of 2020. Senna now in 7th. Had a very good race last week in Fuji in the GR1s. As we see Ben in front of Ben in front of Gadget, and looks like Gadget's lights are just stuck on. Yeah, Gadget's lights are stuck on. Last week it was the flashing ABS, and now the ABS is just running red. What is going on? Yeah, there's no brake lights from Gadget at all because they're on. He must not have been able to fix his brake issues. As we see Ben just trying to stay ahead of Gadget. And just look at how far behind Muller is. The amount of bad luck Muller has had recently is just simply amazing. No matter of luck at all. As the Pirates in Pirates of the Caribbean would say to Jack Sparrow. I'm not even gonna attempt to do the dialect they do, because I would just butcher it. Juggernaut still in first. Unless something very bad happens to the Frenchman. I don't think he'll lose that position. Smithy is not with us today. Probably has a sour taste in his mouth after last week. This is just a game after all, but the feelings and emotions are quite real when the stuff goes down. Have had my fair issues with Smith as well, but as we all know, it is not intentional. Accidents do happen. They are pretty unavoidable, as we see Berkey being chased by the mighty Lexus of Sean. The GTR does have a little bit more top end than the Lexus. It's just a matter of a couple of kilometers, but it is just enough to keep that purple GTR ahead of Sean. Ricey there, I think he said that the GR2 class is not his strongest class. It's usually the class where I've been able to beat Ricey multiple times, so I tend to believe that. But I will admit, GR2 not among my strongest classes either. But it is a fun class of cars to drive. The amount of downforce you have in these monsters, it's quite incredible. As we see Gadget all the way down in 8th, and he's got damage. I think he's hit Ben. Ben has no damage, and he's been into the pits. Wow. So, Gadget has damage, and I'm thinking he was right behind Ben. Maybe they broke too early, maybe they broke too late, and contact was unavoidable. But this could get interesting. Gadget does have some damage to fix, as we see Flapjack and Alex both coming out of the pits. Behind Sean, right ahead of Ricey. Oh, look at how unstable that car is. Gadget now into the pits. Let's see how he fixes the damage. Where Ben is. Ben is there, ahead of Gadget again. We have Muller coming down the main straight. Come back with Berkey. As we see him, well, he has a good gap down to Sean, so something must have happened. The dirty air is quite literally, well, quite horrible in these cars, especially on this track. Can catch you off guard really, really fast, and you can understeer into a wall or into a car. And we see Alex going out in front of Sean on the outside of all things into what I believe is the Dunlop turn. Flapjack goes on the inside, Sean giving a lot of space. He knows that the fight is not between these two, and he doesn't fight that. As we see Ricey inching closer to Sean. Ricey's tires have had a lot more wear to them though. Juggernaut into the pits after lap 5, so the tires go off fast on this track. We have Berkey into the pits as well, I think. Berkey has been in. Yep. In. Senna still staying out on those tires. He's getting caught up by Ricey now. But our good friend Rice has been into the pits and changed his tires. Still haven't forgiven you from Lago Maggiore in the GR3s, Ricey. When you caught me on the last damn lap, my Viper was suffering on its tires. I still haven't forgiven you. Had to put that joke in there. He'll probably know what I am talking about when he thinks real hard back to it. That little golf of his. Ricey's just about to overtake. Oh, and we got a little bit of contact between them. No damage though, just slight taps. And Senna is signaling. Lucky there that there was no contact. Maybe just a little bit slow on the trigger, and Senna couldn't react in time. As we see Sean into the pits. Berkey now in 4th, trying to chase down the M4R crew. M4R dominated today as well, even though we're missing Baby Spice, or the Quack Lord. And I'm not gonna do that song. And Ricey now catching up to Sean. Has Sean been into the pits? I think he's been into the pits recently. And Ricey's just on the chop now. As we see in Norway, han er på hugget. Don't really know what that is in English, but he's on the chase. That's probably the right word for it. Chasing Sean down. Maybe Ricey can make some leeway out of this. Senna is just doing what he can to survive, as we see Ben is starting to suffer a little bit on tires, and we see Gadget right behind there. The tire wear master is probably just gonna bide his time, stay behind Ben and save some tires until he sees a move worthwhile, and then just pounce when Ben least expects it. As, oh, don't do that, Gadget. Not in these cars. Oh, and Gadget is really using the grass to his advantage, isn't he? Senna going in. Taking a look on board with Gadget, the tire wear master. Does he have enough grunt to pass Ben before turn 1? No. Ben is probably saying F off, F off, F off. To no avail. The inside of the SS. Most difficult part of the track in my eyes. Gadget is trying so hard to get past. Ooh. And, oh, Ben going very wide there. Gadget going deep. Doesn't look like Gadget has enough grunt to keep up with Ben at times. We're gonna follow Gadget on board until he passes Ben or the lap finishes. Alex has driven into the pits. Oh! Don't do that too much, Gadget. You might spin. Gadget is pushing maybe a little too hard at times. Looks like he's straining his rear wheels quite a bit. And it looks like we've lost Berkey as well. He was doing so well. Maybe he's been disconnected. Could be a possibility. As we see Flapjack in second. And Alex is on fresh tires. Should be taking the fight to Sean momentarily. Sean there. As we see Alex already in front. Is this a team order again? You all know how much I despise team orders. So if this is a team order to send Alex in front, that's gonna make the spectators quite mad. Or no, Flapjack knows he had to pit. Knew he had to pit. So maybe he didn't want to fight that. Coming back on lap 16, we have Mighty Drift King Alex in first, with Juggernaut in second. Juggernaut must have botched his pit stops, or he might have had a spin, maybe a little crash into the wall somewhere. His paint job is looking clean, so it's probably not a crash, so he must have botched the pit stop. And now we have the mighty, skilled in everything he does, Alex, going for the win. Still 30 minutes to go, so anything can happen, but a little bit unexpected to see the Drift King in P1. But 30 minutes to go, as I said, so anything can happen between these two. As we see Sean in third. We have Flapjack down in fourth. He's been into the pits to change some tires. Ricey is on the hunt for Flapjack, but then again, Ricey does have worn tires. Senna in sixth with relatively new tires. We have Ben going into the pits right in front of the Gadget Master, the tire wear master. As we see, Muller has really caught up to the rest of the field now. Well, the rest of the field will be an understatement. He's caught up to Ben and Gadget, at least as he passes Ben coming out of the pits. They are both on new tires. Let's hope they can work together to catch up to Gadget and maybe send that little tire wear master into the dirt without actually meaning it, of course. Oh, as we see Ben going a little deep on the grass, getting some rear end drift on that Lexus and not making it a very good thing for those tires. It's not good to wear out those rear ends that fast when you come out of the pits. As we see both Muller and Ben catching up to Gadget already. So either one or two things have happened right now. Gadget is saving his tires even more, or short shifting, or going into the fuel map to save enough fuel to you know, not take on too much in his next stop. As we see Juggernaut back into P1 with Alex in P2, as he has just come out of the pits. That should last Alex for another stint. as we see Sean in a quite comfortable third at the moment. And Flapjack. Oh, this is what we saw with the car of Muller on Big Willie. Just the car giving way at the rear end. But that wasn't the GR3 McLaren. This is how careful you need to be. If you shift down too early in these cars, it just kicks out the rear end. That's what I can't get used to. I'm used to shifting out quite fast to get the lower gears, and in the NSX it doesn't seem like you can do that. As we see Senna still in 6th, very uncontested, very unchallenged as of right now. At least there will be good points for him to nab. Gadget is still being chased down by the Muller crew of Muller and his race engineer Marcus. Maybe it's Marcus Phoenix himself. Only thing missing is a big frickin' chainsaw assault rifle and that big cog armor. Coalition of Ordered Governments. Putting some Gears of War in there too. As we see Ben just trying to find some pace behind Muller. Getting some screen time for Ben today as well. Muller just trying to keep up or catch up to Gadget. I think they both know that Gadget is on worn tires and he isn't able to pull away. And there's a big gap up to 6th from where these three are. So obviously Gadget is struggling a little bit. But an interview is that Gadget is still enjoying the racing in Tier 1, but the skill gap, the level of talented drivers in Tier 1 is getting higher and higher, and it's more and more difficult to keep up with the faster drivers. But the fun factor is the most important thing, and as long as the drivers are having that. Personally, the heavy damage has scared me out of Tier 1, but I might be back someday. You'll never know. If I get that promotion, I will take it. Ricey in 6th, new tires for this man. As he's coming closer to Senna. Senna's gained the position, but will ultimately lose that when he drives into the pits. I think Muller's into the pits. The tires weren't looking that bad. Why did he go into the pits? He had no damage. The fuel was looking decent. I don't know. As we see Ben getting ever so closer to Gadget. Let's take a look back up at the field. Let's see, Alex is in 1st. I think Alex has got a better pit strategy than Juggernaut. And Sean there, right behind, he still needs to pit. But he's got a good gap down to Flapjack, who still needs to pit after Sean. So if Sean goes in now, he could benefit from that. Senna still just ahead of Ricey, but his tires are going off. Going on board with Ricey. Flapjack into the pits with 11% left in his fuel tank. Here we have Senna going in. 9% for Senna. They're probably refueling their tanks. As we see Ben in 7th, and Gadget has gone into the pits. He's coming out right behind Muller. So now he'll be able to take up the chase, but then again, Muller has a couple of laps of worn tires now, and as we know, have raced Muller many a times, and I know for a good fact that Muller, even though he's a fair, clean racer, he is an amazing defender. And I say that with the most positive way I can, because the way he defends is like if you're driving behind Lewis Hamilton and you just can't get past. Unless you find a gap in his armor, you are not getting past this man. So good luck to Gadget, because we will be coming back to this fight momentarily. Jignaut now in first as Alex has gone into the pits. And Sean has also gone into the pits. Let's see if he actually comes out before Flapjack. He does at a good margin. Coming back at lap 28, we have Alex in first and Jignaut in second. Just look the gap between these two right now. So I think Jignaut must have botched his pit stop somewhere, as we see Ricey into the pits. Flapjack in third right now, and I think he's done with his pit stops. Sean is definitely done with his pit stops, so we can push to the final second. But I don't know about Flapjack. He does not have enough in the tank, I believe, for 10 minutes. I think that would be pushing it. 10 minutes would probably be too far. But yeah. We do see Shawnee possibly catching up a little bit. Ricey in 5th, Senna in 6th. Been a very uneventful race for this man. Muller. Gadget is ahead of Ben. Muller is ahead of Gadget. So he possibly didn't get ahead at the 40-minute mark. But now Ben is behind. But what I said about Muller also is the same truth for Gadget. That is not an easy man to get past either. You have to look for the chink in his armor and exploit it. And if Ben has a fast enough car now, just digs down deep, looks for every last bit of that skill level he has, he'll be able to catch up to Gadget. As we see Alex low on fuel. Will the machinery hold for the 8 last minutes of round 7, season 5? Second to last round in this season now. And Alex goes into the pits. He just needs to top off just enough. That should do. Now we can take up the chase to Juggernaut, but I don't think Juggernaut is going to give this away freely. Alex is going to push to the very last second to catch up to Juggernaut, possibly regain P1. It's going to be a couple of laps. Sean, not looking like he's in any danger as of yet. Flapjack is inching closer, but still too far away to do anything. Ricey also had a pretty uneventful race, maybe possibly one of the best in the GR2 class so far. Perhaps maybe a little bit boring. Senna hasn't had the most exciting race of all time either, I would assume. We have Muller. And Gadget. Gadget is just using every single inch of the corners. Going out on the grass. Making sure he has the best grip possible, but dirty tires is not what I would call best grip possible. Wow, look at how much he cut that. Ben almost didn't cut anything of that. Going back to Juggernaut. Alex is inching in closer and closer and closer, and I think Juggernaut can feel this. The tires are starting to run off, but if he just can keep his head cool, he might be able to do this. He might be able to run away with first. Just the last 4 minutes of the race. Just don't make a big mistake. You'll never forgive yourself for that. There we have Sean. The closest battle out on track would be these two. I think something will transpire now in the next few corners. Just gonna look back at Ben and Gadget. Ben is still too far away to do anything, so we're gonna follow these two until the end. This is the closest thing we have to a battle right now, but if Alex is able to make a move, we won't know. Alex has set a best lap time of 1:48.1. 48.2 for Juggernaut. It's gonna be close. Juggernaut's fuel light has started blinking. Taking a look from Juggernaut's spoiler. Juggernaut's tires are starting to suffer a bit. Alex is inching closer. Look at how close Alex is now. Will he be able to make a move before the final few corners? Maybe even at the Dunlop. Probably saying this corner completely wrong of its name. I just know the name of the track itself usually, not the corners. Juggernaut going a bit defensive. Maybe Alex can go for a cutback, get some better speed out of that chicane. It just isn't enough. And Juggernaut saves it at the very last second. Good job to Juggernaut and Awesome Alex. As we see Sean coming in to finish in the third. Ricey is just ahead of Flapjack. Flapjack still isn't close enough. Unless the commentator's curse screws up for Ricey, but it looks like he's got this one covered. Pretty flawless race. We have Flapjack coming out of the last chicane with Senna right behind. Senna! Oh, and Flapjack has damage! Flapjack must have spun somewhere, and he just loses it down to Senna. Oh my goodness. Muller in 7th, Gadget in 8th, and Ben in 9th. Thank you all for watching, and come back for the final 90-minute race. Bye-bye!